Do tell, Alan Snell. This is Locked On A's.
You are Locked On A's, your daily Oakland A's podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, welcome back. It's Locked On A's, and I am your host, Wayne Coy, athletic supporter since I knew what a baseball was, and media personality for a long, long time. Happy to have you here, Locked On A's. It's our daily Oakland A's podcast, and it's certainly a source of information every single day. If you're an A's fan like me, well, that's what you want. You know, you can get us wherever podcasts are available. Of course, YouTube as well. And if you are watching us on YouTube, I'd love it if you would subscribe to our videos and you'd give us the big old thumbs up, because it really does mean a lot as we try to grow the show. Share with your friends, of course. If you have any comments, please leave them there so we can get to what it is that you want to know all about. And, of course, give you feedback on any questions that you might have. Special guest today, we're going to be talking to Alan Snell from LV Sports Biz, who was there last night at the Las Vegas Convention Center. And the fur was flying just a little bit. We'll tell you why coming up. But right now, I got to tell you what's going on with our friends at Nutrafol. Took me a minute to be able to learn how to spell it, but I got it. It's Nunutrafol, Nutrafol, as in follicles. Nutrafol, #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve your hair growth. You know, we need it, right? Visible thickness, visible scalp coverage. Nutrafol's hair growth supplements, well, they use physician-formulated, natural, science-backed ingredients. Their drug-free, patented technology provides consistent, reliable results because it's all about your hair. And by the way, it doesn't compromise your sexual health either. Go to Nutrafol.com/men and take their hair health wellness quiz. You can find out exactly what the causes are of your thinning hair. And Nutrafol is wanting to give you a personalized plan, something that's going to work specially for you, better hair health through whole body wellness. Pretty cool. Nutrafol supports healthy hair growth from within by targeting the root causes of the thinning hair, like stress, like hormones and environment, nutrition, lifestyle, all of that, even metabolism through whole body health. And you know what? It does work. Yep. In a clinical study, 84% of men showed improvement in their hair after 6 months taking Nutrafol men's hair growth supplements. So take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. For a limited time. Nutrafol offering you, that's you, $10 off your first month's subscription and free shipping, as if it wasn't already good enough. Just go to Nutrafol.com/men and enter the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. And you're going to find out why over 4,000 healthcare professionals recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Spell it with me. You ready? Nutrafol.com/men and enter the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. It's Nutrafol.com/men, promo code LOCKEDONMLB. When you get there, you'll be able to find out what to do to make your hair be the exact hair you want it to be. Well, it's been a minute since we've caught up with this guy, one of the great friends of the show. He does work beyond compare. He's able to lift the lid on all of the business stuff when it comes to sports, and especially here in Las Vegas, and lvsportsbiz.com.
Right.
Publisher, Alan Snell. Hi, Alan. How are you?
Hey, it's great to join you again, Wayne. And I understand the Athletics are ending a historic season.
Yeah, not in a good way. 109th loss last night. That's just incredible.
Yeah, it's kind of brutal, but we've seen other teams rebound and actually have fantastic seasons. I mean, look at the Houston Astros and the Baltimore Orioles in just recent history.
Sure. I remember when they were calling the Astros the Lastros, remember?
Oh,
They had about 3 years in a row there where they were just horrible. So I hope you're right. Obviously, we're trying to find reasons to be optimistic. You were a busy guy last night. You were at the Las Vegas Convention Center for a public meeting. And what was that all about?
Well, the Las Vegas Stadium Authority has a board of directors, and they met and they approved the hiring of the LVCVA, which is the tourism agency here in Las Vegas, to basically supply the administrative staffing for the Stadium Authority, because the previous consultant, Jeremy Aguero's applied analysis, obviously had a conflict of interest because Jeremy has a job working as a consultant with the A's, and the A's are going to be supposedly submitting a stadium plan. So
supposedly, yeah.
So that will, we'll see how that works out. But
you can't say his name. You can't say his name without saying, "For the record, Jeremy Aguero."
Exactly. The conflict of interest topic surfaced again because Steve Hill, who represented the Athletics before the several state committees in June, along with Jeremy Aguero, he is the CEO of the LVCVA, and he's also chairman of the stadium board. So he had kind of a three-way conflict there with those roles, and they've, I guess, felt they solved it by having Steve Hill not be part of the negotiations and the vote for the Stadium Authority to hire Steve's own agency, which is the LVCVA, to do the consulting work for the stadium board.
Right. So they have somebody else that is going to stand there and be the body of that all, but is Steve still the one making the decisions?
Well, I think it's kind of a sticky situation because the Athletics will be submitting stadium plans, to the Stadium Authority to review.
That Steve's in charge of. Yeah.
Right. And theoretically, there's going to be staff at the LVCVA, which is Steve's agency, reviewing the Athletics baseball park plan. And that person knows that his boss, Steve Hill, also represented the A's before the state, I think, Ways and Means Committee and some other committees on the way to the Athletics winning the $380 million government assistance package under SB1. So it's, it doesn't sound like really the standards for really impartial, well-functioning government, but it's Las Vegas. Las Vegas is an outlier kind of community. Things are done differently here, I've noticed.
So funny you said that, because somebody pointed that out yesterday in the comments. They said, "Well, what do you expect? It's Las Vegas. This is the way they roll here."
Yeah, I just for all the rhetoric about this market trying to diversify its economy, the bottom line is it's really doubled down on staying with the sports and entertainment, tourism thing. It's an interesting thing about the baseball stadium is that it really is seen as a tourism play. I mean, the name of the very act itself that was obviously the name for the bill includes the word tourism. I think Tourism Innovation Act, something like that. And the Raiders stadium also came out of a tourism infrastructure committee that was created by the previous governor, actually a previous governor, Brian Sandoval, who preceded Steve Sisolak, who preceded Joe Lombardo, who was kind of the main force behind the Athletics getting their subsidy under SB1.
Kind of. So there was public comment, I guess, last night. And what came of that?
Well, there were two folks from the Nevada State Education Association and the Schools Over Stadiums Political Action Committee, and there were two gentlemen, Alexander Marks, who's a representative of Schools Over Stadiums, right, and also Chris Daly, who I believe is the political director for the State Education Association. They both pointed out some of the obvious conflicts of interest that have kind of characterized this entire process.
So is there a chance that this thing, because I know what they're working on is a referendum and the ability to get it on the ballot, but they need a lot of signatures. Is that going to happen?
They're going to try. They need a certain threshold number of signatures from each of the congressional districts in the state of Nevada to get that on a statewide ballot. So,
and where are they in that process? Are they far along?
I think they submitted their application perhaps in the past month.
Yeah.
LVSportsBiz.com did do a story on that process, and you can check out that story. But I believe the paperwork and application was submitted, I think it's to the Secretary of State in the state of Nevada, to try to get the signatures collected and eventually get an item on the ballot that would ask voters whether they want to approve or not certain aspects of state bill number 1 there, SB 1.
Mm-hmm. So is your opinion that if it gets on the ballot, that could be a big issue for the Athletics and for the stadium?
It could be, but it's kind of weird because the Athletics are, moving ahead. It was interesting that the stadium board meeting was held yesterday because only 1 month before, in August, Dave Cavell did make an appearance at the stadium board meeting here in Las Vegas, and he pointed out that I just want to let you know that I am the point man, for it. And he did talk to me before the meeting to inform me that he anticipated that the Tropicana Hotel buildings at the site where they want to build the baseball stadium at Tropicana and Las Vegas Boulevard will be demolished probably sometime middle of 2024, which is kind of weird because the Schools Over Stadiums folks who are trying to get the SB 1 on the ballot for a public vote would have the public vote in November of 2024. So, you're talking about the demolition of the buildings at the stadium site before any potential vote on it, which is kind of a little weird. I mean, it would be kind of crazy to demolish buildings and then have the stadium plan just go, be voted out. So,
well, I think their plan is to do something, build a new hotel anyway, regardless, right?
That's true. I mean, they did talk about building a hotel on the rest of the site. Keep in mind that we're talking about a 36-acre site, and it's on the southeast corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Tropicana, and the kind of the east and the southeast quadrant of that site. This 9-acre, sub part of the 36-acre overall site.
Yeah, postage stamp. That's what we call it. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be earmarked for the stadium. And like you mentioned, there has been discussion of the construction of a new hotel. Presumably, the fans would use it, to go to the baseball stadium.
Sure. Did Dave Cavell give you any indication that they would be willing to that GLP or Bally's would be willing to give them more than the 9 acres, or are they holding to that?
Well, I mean, I have heard that maybe there might be another acre or two thrown in there. So, maybe there's a little extra wiggle room, but there won't be much.
And they're still talking about a retractable roof, which, as you know, there isn't one in existence that fits on 9 acres anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it just sounds like the footprint would be a little too big for a 9 acre, site. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just.
So does that mean a dome?
I, um, it'll be interesting to see what Cavill actually and the Athletics ultimately submits to the stadium board, because everyone has discussed the um, the whole concept of a roof, but I've never heard the Athletics really define what the roof means. I don't know if it's going to be a fixed roof or retractable, because what's interesting is that Cavill has mentioned views looking out towards center field, which would be uh, kind of looking out toward.
The
Um,
airport.
well, it would be looking west. Actually,
Yeah.
it would be opening up, and you would be looking at New York, or MGM Grand, which is looking west or north. And if you're going to see those buildings, the hotels, that means the roof is not going to be hermetically sealed. Now, you have some scenarios where the Seattle Mariners baseball park, for example, it does have a superstructure above it with sliding panels, and you can actually look out to left field and kind of see the sound, because
Right.
you're looking west there for the Mariners games.
But that's a much bigger imprint. I mean, they're
Yeah,
on
so
a
I don't
lot more
know.
land there.
I'm not sure if you could actually do that
Yeah.
on 9 acres, obviously, but
Well, then there's the whole issue
it's been kind of interesting, because the process has kind of moved forward, with these questions that have not been answered. For example, we still don't have a definitive site plan or
architect.
architectural rendering of the building itself. We had these kind of bigger than life, whimsical drawings that all the media people were using. I actually have decided to stop using those images, because they're not really accurate representations of the base of the building itself.
Well, the A's themselves said take those renderings and just rip them up because they don't mean anything.
Right. So
yet they were able to get $400 million with those renderings that don't mean anything.
and
Just
they have been
crazy.
used a lot by the local media here in
They
Las
sure
Vegas
have.
as well.
Yeah. And I know you went over there on your bike and you checked it out like in person. And I mean, do you feel like it's big enough and okay for a stadium?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to demolish the entire site, and I think they do. I think at the end of the day, they'll probably need a little more than 9 acres to construct this building. I just one of the drawings actually did kind of include all the most of the 36-acre site too. So
yeah, and we know that's not going to happen now. So the other issue, Alan, is just the relocation in general, and the fact that that's got to get completely approved by 75% of Major League Baseball's owners. Do you see that being a no-brainer? Like it's just going to fly through, or do you think there's going to be resistance?
I think it will be approved. They are losing a lot of money by the waiver of the relocation fee. So I think Major League Baseball is like really losing out with that. But again, it's kind of like the city of Las Vegas. Las Vegas, Clark County, the state of Nevada, all they saw was a chance to get a Major League Baseball team. And, personally, I think that an expansion team would be a much better alternative than getting an established Oakland Athletics team in this market.
Right.
We saw the difference between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Raiders in terms of the emotional connection from the local community to the major league team. When the team is organically created from scratch versus just parachuting in and relocating from another market. I mean, we have the case example right here in Las Vegas. So anyone can see the difference. In fact, tonight is the first exhibition game. And usually exhibition games, it's the first exhibition game at home for the Vegas Golden Knights.
Right.
Because they've played like a game or two on the road already. But And typically these exhibition games are nothing more than really, glorified scrimmages where the players wear the actual jerseys.
Sure.
But people are still very excited, even for the first exhibition game here in Las Vegas for the season. I mean,
because there's that ownership that you always talk about, that connection with the community and the team, right?
Right. And, having the Athletics move here, I mean, they're just going to be strictly a tourism attraction. And we saw that play out with the Raiders only a few days ago on Sunday.
Yeah, you were there.
Where, literally 2/3 or 3/4 of the stadium is filled with visiting Steeler fans. And I would anticipate seeing that, assuming the A's do eventually get here in 2028, which is still a long way off.
Yeah.
It will be simply an entertainment tourism option that would compete against, Cirque du Soleil or Donny Osmond or Blue Man Group or Carrot Top or whatever. I mean, to me, it would be simply another entertainment option for the tourists of Las Vegas. And, even right now, locals are not thrilled about driving to the Strip.
Yeah.
And as we can see, that this market does not have really a comprehensive public transit system, and people just kind of figure it out. They just,
I heard that comment, Alan, where somebody said, "Well, what about parking?" And they said, "Oh, well, don't worry about it. There's plenty of casino parking. We'll figure that out later."
Well, I mean, that was pretty much the strategy for T-Mobile Arena, for the Golden Knights Arena. They had that. That is like the main source of parking for the arena, and they're going to roll that out again for the Athletic Stadium. The Raiders Stadium, for a place for 62,000 fixed seats.
Yeah,
that place only has about 2,500 surface level parking on that site.
Sure, a lot of Uber, a lot of Lyft. Yeah,
that, or people park all around. I mean, I'm probably one of the few people who I drive with my bicycle. I park about a mile west of the stadium, and I bike the final 5 minutes. It's very easy, and assuming the A's do come here one day in 2028, and I'm still around reporting for LV Sports Biz, I'd probably be riding my bike to a baseball stadium on the Strip.
Yeah. Do you honestly think that they can? Because according to them, they're penciling out a sellout every game. 33,000 now, not 30,000, but 33,000 tickets for every game. Do you really see that happening on a Tuesday night against the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Yeah, I don't see 33,000 people showing up every day. I think the first year or two, there'll be a strong novelty curiosity factor. So I could see, I can see attendance pretty strong the first couple years. But, as the Rays or the Pirates they mentioned, or the Marlins, or, some of these other lower profile teams, when they roll into town, I don't see 33,000 people on a Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday night. Right. When the Yankees come in, or the Red Sox,
sure,
I can see the place being filled up, but and also, kind of something no one's really talked about is the fact that there's already a AAA team. Ironically, it's the Athletics' own AAA team playing in Summerlin, and you can't help but think that having a Major League Baseball team in the same market would definitely make a dent, perhaps, into the AAA attendance.
Sure, right.
Which is in the same market as well.
But there's a big difference between 10,000 seats for an Aviators game and 33,000 every single night. Because they said they projected their numbers say that they have to sell it out every night to be able to make their nut. And if they don't, well, then they're going to rely on concerts or other events to make up the difference.
Yeah,
and there was a lot of, I just want to say there was a lot of correlation made between Allegiant Stadium and this new proposed baseball stadium. And obviously the difference is the Raiders play once a week. The A's are going to be playing 81 games a year there, and on a 115-degree day with maybe a retractable roof that we don't even know about yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the non-baseball uses of the baseball stadium, I think, would be limited. I mean, I don't think they're going to go gangbusters, in terms of events that are non-baseball. I mean, everyone talks. It's 81 home dates, so you do have the numbers on your side, but that's still less than 1/4 of your whole calendar season, calendar year.
Yeah.
Not 81 games is great, and you can make a case that in some cities like Denver with Coors Field and like San Diego with their Petco Park, I think you could argue that the sheer number of games has really helped the economics of that particular section of the city.
Yeah.
But in this particular case, it's just the opposite. This is the most developed section of the Las Vegas Strip. I mean, you're between the Flamingo and Tropicana intersections,
busy as it gets. Yeah.
Those are the two heartbeats really of the Strip. So it's not going to be a catalyst for other development per se, because it's already
developed.
It's already developed. There's some land actually to the east. If you drive behind the Tropicana Hotel site, there is some kind of, perhaps you can build behind there, and a baseball stadium might spur some growth. But
Sure.
in this particular case, I think it would definitely be limited.
So getting back to, I guess, our original conversation with Steve Hill and the potential, to me, it's way more than potential, but the existence of a conflict of interest, does that help or hinder the A's and what they're trying to do here?
Well, the interesting thing about the Athletics coming to Las Vegas is that what I've been struck by is not necessarily opposition here in Las Vegas. I've been struck almost by the indifference of it all. I mean, right now, people seem to be focused on the Super Bowl. There's a Super Bowl host committee that's getting a lot of attention. And the other big sports event is the Formula One race. And, one of the stories I had to do yesterday was really the tragic death of an iron worker at the grandstand construction site for the F1 event in front of the Bellagio. And there's been a lot of complaints from locals about the impact of the F1 construction on the Strip. And the funny thing about the one connection between the F1 race and the Athletics is that both sports entities, if you will, went for the gusto, and they both are using the Strip as the backdrop for their sites. I mean, I believe Formula One in Miami, for example, is not on South Beach. It's not on the ocean. It's not in downtown Miami or downtown Fort Lauderdale. I believe it's out by the football stadium. And here in Las Vegas, F1 came in and basically
took over the Strip.
The center of the spine of the economy is what they're using for their race. And same thing with the baseball stadium. It would be the equivalent if some developer came to the city of New York and said, "Hey, I'd like to build a stadium at Times Square." And he'd be laughed at. But here in Las Vegas,
come all, let's go. Let's build it.
You have a baseball team that's building a baseball stadium, at the crossroads for the entire economy of Las Vegas. You could argue maybe Flamingo, but both Flamingo and the Tropicana intersections to me are the two major, convergences on the Strip.
Yeah. Well, listen, we love paying attention to what's going on, and nobody brings it all to the center like Alan and lvsportsbiz.com. We're going to keep watching. Thanks for your coverage on what happened last night. And as we get closer to maybe Major League Baseball in Vegas, we're obviously here on Locked On A's. We're going to be paying close attention to everything that's happening. Thank you, Alan.
Two very big issues that still need to be answered. Like you said, I think Major League Baseball, I think the owners will approve the relocation. But, assuming that does happen, there's still a big question on where the Athletics will play in 25, 26, and 2027.
Yeah,
because they'll finish out the year next season at the Coliseum.
Yep.
And then the lease expires, but you have a 3-year window where you still don't know where this franchise is going to be playing baseball.
Yeah, and Dave Cavill says we're leaving that up to MLB to figure it out. So
exactly.
We'll find out. Well, we're going to keep watching and reading, and thank you for all the great work that you do, Alan. You can come back here anytime.
Wayne, it's always a pleasure to talk with you, and you do a great job being on top of the whole athletics milieu and soap opera. So
that it is, like the sands in the hourglass. Okay, exactly. Alan Snell, lvsportsbiz.com. Make sure you check him out. It's, of course, Locked On A's. Man, oh man, I enjoy every second with that guy. He's just smart. He knows the business of sports, and Lord knows that's kind of become what it's all about, right? And you know what else it's about? It's about your health, because it's that time of year. Here we go. The weather's going to change, and you're going to get sick. Kind of almost count on it, right? Well, everybody needs to be empowered to be able to take care of themselves when that time comes, because it's probably going to come, whether it's you or your loved ones. You don't want the unexpected to hit you right between the eyes. That is why Jace Medical, Jase, Jace Medical, offers the Jace case. Remember that old, the taste of the base is in my face? Well, now it's the taste of the Jace case is in your face. Peace of mind, too. Because you know what? If you get sick, you're going to be okay in an emergency. What they do is they get with you, make sure they understand exactly what's ailing you, and then they give you the proper medication to take care of it. The Jace case, that is 5 extremely strong and very targeted antibiotics that will take care of you and literally could save your life. Get $20 off these life-saving antibiotics today from Jace Medical. And all you got to do is use my code. It's Locked On at checkout. Again, it's jacemedical.com, Jase medical.com, and make sure you use that code. It's Locked On when you check out. Well, that's everything off the field. Of course, we've been talking about the A's, and meanwhile, there's still some season left. So let's beat those Twins, right? It looks like Joey Estes tonight is in good shape to make his second major league start ever. He'll be opposed by Pablo Lopez, and hopefully we don't have what we had last night, which was a good old-fashioned butt-kicking courtesy of those Minnesota Twins. Like to see a better ball game tonight. We'll certainly recap all of that for you the next time we get together. And remember, this is the place to be every day for your A's coverage. Your comments are appreciated. Give us a like. Subscribe if you can, if you're watching YouTube, or if you're on listening online and you're just getting the audio portion of our podcast. That's great too. And you can always get to us via what is now called X, but we're still going to call it Twitter. Our handle at Locked On A's. So hit me up there. Okay. Great to have you here again. And let's do this again real soon. We do appreciate it. I'm Wayne Coy. Thanks for your time, and keep on swinging.